Hey guys, you're tuning into Burst GBAC TMD, and I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of a walkthrough of the most dedicated museum show here at the Dowse Art Museum in Lower Hutt. So here we have an awesome graphic created by Hazza, which is the main graphic for the show, titled An Aotearoa Graffiti Story. And as we kind of open up here, we've got a little bit of a backstory about TMD, some current and past TMD members, and here we also have a little bit of an event flyer, which also has an outline and details of some of the people in the crew, and then we have a bit of a floor plan. So let me take you guys through this. Okay, so to kind of kick off this exhibition, the initial floor space that you kind of walk into is one that showcases the train station. And so this is supposed to kind of replicate what you would see at a train station, and you'll notice that we've also fabricated some MAX trains, which are typically Auckland trains, and we have two pieces on it. Classic people from TMD, Rock and Rex, and a bit of an ASKEW character, B-boy character. And so this was really awesome to see that kind of come to fruition. And also one thing to note as well is that when you're sitting on some of these benches here at the train station, we have, if you're in the right spot, there's a directional speaker, which has basically a sound installation from Vans, which is based in Australia. And basically what we did was we recorded some chase stories from a bunch of riders. And so when you're sitting in the right spot, you're able to hear some of our stories, you know, and some of our adventures essentially. And turning our attention over to here, we have the mini dairy. And basically what this is the TMD merch. And so the way that we've kind of created everything is Hazza has, for a number of these posters, replicated some of the types of things that you would see within a dairy in terms of the graphics, taking things like LP, milkshake and stuff like that, 2-minute noodles, but he's kind of done a little kind of wordplay with some of the things. And then within the store itself, we have a bunch of merch, obviously, from all the people in the crew, selection of t-shirts, magazines, Disrupt magazines, the characters, book by Scream, Suffer Misery. All custom designed by Hazza to replicate some of the stuff in the dairy. I quite like this one. This is kind of like the burgering one, but it features Charles and Janine's Bird Gang t-shirt. Got some stuff here by Deep One, Fluoro, TMD merch with the hats. Some Misery products over here. Got some TMD snapbacks here. And then over here we've got a selection of old, somewhat kind of vintage spray cans that some of the riders will be familiar with. Plastic coat, spray coat, bit of a range there. And then you can't have a dairy without the arcade machine. So we've got Street Fighter 2 on there. And then here also is a bunch of prints from a range of different artists from TMD. Selection here. Also, we've got the Bible that's for sale. Some limited edition publications from Vans. Incredible pieces there. And our friend Wow123, all the way from Germany. So he's showcasing his limited edition book, which is really important. So this particular book here, possibly the most costly item in this dairy. There's a limited edition print in there as well as the book and some stickers, and holy heck, this book is super nuts. It's got all of his recent studio work over the past couple of years, and it's pretty phenomenal. It's got a lot of his wall stuff as well. So shout outs to Marcus for this incredible work. There's some incredible posters that has a design for this show. I'd actually quite like to see more of these posters for sale as well, but they're kind of part of the mock-up, this dairy. And also what we've got there, which is some freight trains. They're not for sale, but they're part of a wider collection of some freight trains that some people from TMD painted. So we can take a look at that. We also have some Charles and Janine prints from some of the murals they've painted. And what we've got over here as well is, I believe, possibly the second issue of Disrupt. So all of you guys, from this kind of 2008 era will be familiar with this. So these are kind of come out from the vault, and a real collector's piece in my view these days. Showcases some of the graph scene here, and we've got Haz's style sheets. So it's a range of his sketches that we've got. Some stock from Misery. Products there. We can't forget Deep One. Got a little zine from him. And so some of the stuff that you'll see in this zine is a collection of some of the photos he's taken over the past 15, 20 years. So really capturing some of that early TMD history. Showcasing that. And we also have some Hazard pins. Awesome stuff. I got this on my North Face jacket. Awesome. So as we make our way through to the next kind of spot, you also see, like, on the outside of the dairy, it's kind of covered in straights, which is obviously a very iconic kind of thing to have within the kind of graffiti scene here in Auckland. And from there, from the dairy, we kind of move into the next section, which is really a showcase of a lot of the photos from the past, 20 to 20 years essentially, featuring images from Deep One, Ramoni, Raymond. And so this main kind of wall here, this portrait format, is essentially people that are from TMD crew, and these other two slide projections here are kind of action photos or pieces throughout some of our career. And what we also had the privilege to do is do a bit of a painting on the installation. We also had the chance to do some painting, installation on the walls here, which basically features most of the people from the crew. And so some of the people that are in TMD but weren't in New Zealand, we had to paint their name for them. So hopefully we did a good job. Beautiful rendering from Dowse. Incredible illustrator. And so as we enter into here, what this is supposed to be the writer's flat. So we've got a bit of a roll call here created from Dial, Say. Once again, this is kind of the writer's flat. So this is kind of what you would typically expect when you come into a bit of a grimy flat. So in terms of what we had to do, we had to age up some of the space, and we put up some old posters, obviously did the tags, just to kind of mimic that setting. And for me, I think this is quite cool because this was quite an iconic event back in 2006. This was when they held the Right for Gold event, and so this was a really pivotal moment, particularly I think for TMD, because they managed to win that particular competition here in New Zealand, to be selected to be able to go overseas to represent the country. And from there, they essentially won the Right for Gold twice. So TMD, I wasn't part of that team, but TMD is essentially part of the people that hold the kind of world championships of graffiti for that particular event, which is really cool to know. From there, got some old DVDs. Here we also have a bunch of old photos, combination of pieces and characters from a range of different people. And the beauty of some of these photos is that they showcase essentially, a period of time. It's, in Auckland and abroad. It's not just the graffiti that was there. So we've got a bunch of stuff, some graph mags. Got my real-time web series playing. It's awesome to see. So this one was an episode featuring Dowse. And what we've also got here is a series of sketches. From the vault. Here we've got a beautiful Ewok sketch. Shout outs to Ewok. Can't remember which year it came over, but stoked to see his work. Some old 3D ASKEW pieces, posters. And we've got a little TMD height wall. I'm clearly not the tallest, but a couple taller people there. And so some of the things that we also had to do as well in terms of activating the space was to age some of the exhibition, at least in terms of the exterior of this kind of makeshift building. Got some dusties here, scratchies. Cool. And where I'm going to take you guys through to next, but the people that haven't really kind of figured everything out yet, is that this show really is about our journey as a crew, from where we kind of all started to where we currently are. And so the writer's flat kind of represents, I think, the kind of essence of graffiti, because it's kind of got a bit more of a grimy aesthetic to it. The photo kind of space really presents the journey in between. And then here is kind of like a homage to, I guess, earlier graffiti that we were all doing. And where we kind of transitioned to for some of us is to that kind of more post-graffiti, contemporary art space. So let's head on through over here. So here we've basically got a collection of most of the artworks from different people from the crew. This piece here is probably my favorite, created from Dowse. Beautiful table, incredibly illustrated. And then over here, we've got a piece from Wow, 123. Incredibly detailed painting there. Some photographic work from Ramoni. Some new work from Mark. And a very large scale work from Ben going from the wall to the floor. Very large scale. Over here we've got a piece from Charles. Exploring some sort of kind of duality, I guess, from New Zealand and a Māori perspective. And over here we've got some artwork from Elliot. It's part of his new series at the moment. Integrating a lot of kind of digital technology with hand painting. Here we've got one of Haz's sculptures. All hand-cut jigsaw, not laser cut. Beautiful portrait by Vans. See if I can mimic. Beautiful painting there. Photographic print from Deep One over here. Taken back in 2019. Love the hairstyles. Got a beautiful light work, light box work here by Aotearoa. And over here we've got a great installation from Dowse. Creating some found objects, graffiti. A nice painting here from S5. I think one of the main people that kind of started rocking kind of script typography quite early on in the graffiti scene. Very colourful, illustrative piece from Misery. Love the characters. And so for the people that come along to the show as well and get to see some of the earlier pictures in the writer's flat, you'll see some of the earlier kind of character designs and outlines and things from Missouri. It's a beautiful work here by Janine, Diva. From ASKEW, one of the really early members of TMD. Kind of a study of the letter A. Done in 2004, so this is 17 years old, so super privileged to be able to have this as part of the show. Piece from Addict, black on black. I think this stuff's on found objects, and I think I saw a video of this work getting rolled out, so they're kind of just like metal sheets and then they've just been flattened. Steam rolled corrugated iron. And over here we've got a bit of an illustration from Rams. And the last piece we have over here is my sculptural piece of work. Shout outs to my wife, Imoy, Tong and Cookie for helping me build this. We spent like basically a solid 4 days kind of working on this. But essentially it's this sculptural piece. It's kind of maybe just under 2 meters tall. There's a light bulb inside which kind of gives illumination for all the spaces. And each panel basically, they're all burst pieces. So this is kind of a new series of work that I've been, that I'm going to be kind of exploring. And just trying to see what we can do by taking the graffiti off the wall and putting it into a 3D form. So this is made of pine wood acrylic and some screws. I'm definitely really interested in exploring some more possibilities with light and see what we can get from all of these kind of gaps and forms and shapes. Cool, so thanks for tuning in, guys. That's the TMD show. If you guys are around or not in Lower Hutt, make sure you guys check it out. It's actually on for quite a few months. I believe up till July or August. So it's on for a little while here at the Dowse Art Museum. So make sure you come check it out.